The intensity is rising as Francesco Bagnaia heads into the Spanish Grand Prix at Jerez with a brand new strategy from Ducati to tackle his persistent tire wear issues. After a grueling start to the 2026 season that left him sitting ninth in the standings, Bagnaia is banking on deep data analysis to fix the unexpected rear grip loss that has plagued his Sunday race pace. With the team finally identifying why the bike destroys rubber after only 8 laps, the pressure is on to turn his performance around this weekend.
Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
But the technical hurdles run deeper than just tire management for the two-time champion. Francesco Bagnaia has sounded the alarm, claiming the current GP26 shares the same flawed DNA as last year's bike, which severely limits his ability to brake and enter corners with confidence. Despite an initial spark during pre-season testing, he has yet to crack the top 8 this year and remains vocal about his struggle to adapt to a machine that refuses to reward his riding style. The drama at Jerez continued immediately on track, where Francesco Bagnaia experienced a high-speed crash early in the practice session while testing a new setup. Though the fall was a setback, Bagnaia remains remarkably calm and focused on closing the gap to rivals like Álex Márquez and Fabio di Giannantonio. He admits his aggressive push to follow the leaders caused the spill, but he insists the potential is there to rebound before the final qualifying sessions. With the clock ticking on his time at Ducati before his looming Aprilia switch, the stakes for Francesco Bagnaia have never been higher. Every session at Jerez is now a battle to prove he can still dominate on the GP26 before the season slips away. Will this latest mechanical tweak be the miracle fix he needs to climb back to the top of the podium? Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss a beat on the 2026 MotoGP season. Ever wonder how a world champion suddenly loses their edge? For Francesco Bagnaia, the current season has been nothing short of a head-scratcher. Sitting ninth in the standings and trailing his own Ducati teammates, the 29-year-old is looking to break his dry spell this weekend in Jerez, and he's convinced the team has finally cracked the code. Let's be honest, the season's start in Thailand, Brazil, and America has been rough. Bagnaia looks stellar in practice and qualifying, but as soon as the lights go out on Sunday, the bike just falls apart. We're talking about a guy who simply can't find the rhythm, leading legends like Mick Doohan to openly question what is going on. The culprit? It's all about the rubber. Bagnaia has been chewing through his rear tires at an alarming rate, admitting that in Brazil and Texas, he was basically just surviving out there rather than racing. But here's the interesting part. After a month-long break, Bagnaia and Ducati have been deep diving into the telemetry. What they found is strange. The bike behaves perfectly on used tires during practice, but once the race distance kicks in, the rear grip vanishes after just 8 laps. It's almost like the bike has a personality disorder that only triggers on race day. Bagnaia even hinted that the extra rubber left on the track by the Moto2 and Moto3 sessions might be messing with the Michelin performance, creating a setup nightmare that's unique to their current package. Now, Ducati is reportedly coming to Jerez with a completely fresh approach. If they've finally managed to stabilize that rear end, we could see a total turnaround for the reigning star. Can Bagnaia silence the critics and get his title defense back on track, or will this tire issue prove to be the shadow that hangs over his entire season? What do you think? Is it a technical glitch, or is the competition simply leaving him behind? Drop a comment below, hit that subscribe button to keep up with the paddock drama, and remember, in MotoGP, the difference between winning and crashing is often just a matter of millimeters of rubber. Is the reign of Francesco Bagnaia at Ducati coming to a frustrating, quiet end? The two-time champion has dropped a bombshell that has the MotoGP paddock buzzing, and it's not the kind of news Borgo Panigale wanted to hear. Bagnaia just admitted that the new GP26 feels virtually identical to the flawed GP25, a bike that caused him misery throughout last season. Think about that for a second. In a sport where milliseconds decide world championships, being stuck with the same fundamental issues for 2 years is a death sentence. Back in 2024, Bagnaia was untouchable, racking up 11 wins on the GP24. That bike was a masterpiece of feedback and confidence. But since then, it's been a downward spiral. He told Sky Italia that the bike's DNA simply doesn't allow him to express his potential. He's forced to ride defensively. He can't trust the front end under braking, historically his biggest weapon, and he's had to completely overhaul his braking style just to stay upright. It sounds like a rider fighting his own equipment rather than his rivals. We've seen flashes of his brilliance, like that near miss in the COTA sprint, but results haven't followed. He hasn't cracked the top 8 in the first 3 rounds of 2026. That is an astonishing stat for a rider of his caliber. He's even hinted that he might have failed to adapt well enough to the GP25, a mistake that's now compounding with the GP26. With his move to Aprilia locked in for 2027, you have to wonder, is Pecco just counting down the days, or can Ducati pull a miracle out of the hat before he walks out the door? Drop a comment below. Do you think Ducati's development path is a disaster, or is Bagnaia just struggling to find his groove? Make sure to hit that like button if you want to stay updated on the MotoGP drama, and subscribe so you don't miss our deep dive into the Jerez upgrades. After all, sometimes the biggest battles aren't fought on the track, but inside the factory walls. Ever wonder how a world champion handles a disaster before the weekend even truly begins? Francesco Bagnaia's Friday at Jerez was anything but smooth, and frankly, it was a miracle his bike survived it all. Kicking off the Spanish Grand Prix, Pecco started in the mid-pack, only to dump his Ducati in the gravel just 2 minutes into his first flying lap. It's the kind of moment that rattles most riders, but Pecco, he just dusted himself off with an eerie sense of calm. Look, we all saw the footage. The bike was pretty beaten up, but the Italian wasn't fazed. He finished the practice session in 6th, punching his ticket to Q2, but he's clearly aware that the bar has been raised. He spent the day playing catch-up, noting that guys like Álex Márquez and Fabio di Giannantonio are finding a rhythm that he's still hunting for. Pecco admitted he was being a bit too aggressive while trying to shadow Márquez, which cost him the front end, but he's adamant that panicking is a luxury he can't afford. It's that cool-headed veteran mindset that defines a champion, knowing exactly when to push and when to reset. He believes the potential is there, and honestly, with the adjustments they've made, he's confident that tomorrow is a whole new ballgame. We'll see if that confidence holds up under the pressure of the race. What do you think? Can Pecco close the gap, or is the Ducati field just too crowded this year? Drop a comment below, hit that subscribe button, and join us as we track every turn of this wild season. At this level, it's not just about speed, it's about who can master the chaos. Ever wondered how a split second on the track can completely rewrite a rider's season? Pecco Bagnaia just had a rough go of it, turning his Ducati into a wreck. But the drama in MotoGP never stays quiet for long. Right now, all eyes are on Jerez, where a crucial technical tweak has emerged that might just be the secret weapon Bagnaia needs to salvage his weekend and get back on top. It's fascinating how these microscopic adjustments in engineering ripple out to determine championship outcomes. You have to hand it to the Ducati engineers. They are constantly pushing the envelope to keep their riders competitive, even when things go sideways. This is exactly what makes the sport so addictive. It's not just the grit of the rider, but the genius behind the machine that keeps the pressure mounting. So, will this modification be the difference maker under the Spanish sun? We're about to find out. If you're as obsessed with the technical chess match of MotoGP as we are, hit that subscribe button and let us know in the comments. Do you think Bagnaia can turn this around, or is the pressure finally getting to the reigning champ? Remember, in racing, the comeback is always stronger than the setback.